At one point, the house behind me must have been absolutely stunning. Freshly painted furniture in the living rooms with the beautiful views right there of the Feather River. You can barely see it in the distance, but you can definitely see the beautiful expanse of the Sierra Valley. And I can imagine the family and the kids running around the house when they still lived here. But look at it now. It's falling apart, it's rusting away, it's collapsing in on itself. In a sense, it's dying. And in many ways, when I see this house, I see a metaphor of life in general. Because if you think about it, we all will eventually look like that. All of our beautiful homes, our cars, everything that we work so hard to build will eventually go away. Even our very bodies themselves, even if you're a beautiful supermodel or a buff bodybuilder like myself, we all will grow old, lose our hairs and become wrinkled. In many ways, I will look like that house. And on that cheery note, I can't help but think of the second reading, which you'll hear at Mass this Sunday. It comes from Paul's letter to the Philippians, chapter 3, verse 20. St. Paul reminds the Christians, our citizenship is in heaven. And what Paul is trying to do is trying to remind the Christians that all of this, as beautiful and as magnificent as the world is, it will all eventually go away. Even the sun itself. If you permit me to nerd out for a second, the sun, it says that in about 5 billion years, will eventually turn into a red dwarf. The inner core will shrink and the outer perimeter will expand so much that it will even engulf Mars and Earth along in that process. So even the solar system will eventually die and look like that house. And so the question is, when you really think about it, well, what's the point of all? If all of this will be destroyed and go away eventually. What Paul is trying to remind the church in Philippi is that we don't belong here. My heart and my soul and my being was meant for eternity to be with God our Father who created us to begin with. Just as I work as hard as I can on my earthly possessions, what Paul is trying to say, yes, work hard, absolutely. Work hard for life here. Build up your homes and your families. But work harder even more for your soul and my citizenship. And to always remember that I don't belong here. I belong to be with God our Father and to be with my Savior, Jesus Christ. That is my true citizenship. Not here. Because eventually, we will all look like that house.